Reflections on spontaneous living, Taoism, and the concept of Wu Wei. Taoism is a way of life, a way that brings tremendous peace of mind in the midst of both challenges and successes alike. In Taoism, the teachings emphasize that to achieve great success in the world by our own commitment and willpower always leads to more stress. The responsibility is on you to succeed by your efforts. Taoism teaches that this kind of trying to force, manipulate, or coerce life to go the way that we desire it to go depletes our personal storehouse of life energy. In Taoism, this storehouse of personal life energy is called Jing. I may have the terminology wrong. So, if we can be still, open, and simple, just in a relaxed, yet wide open and alert state, in a kind of disposition of waiting without waiting, to use a phrase the late Klein often used as a pointer to our original nature. Kind of in the way that you may perhaps be relaxing in a park with your family. You are just laying on the grass, soaking in the sun. There is nothing to do, no need or desire to alter, fix, or improve on that sweet moment. You know that eventually our children will come running to us. Perhaps one has fallen off a swing and is hurt, and the other has found some amazing imaginary monster he wants to tell you all about. So suddenly a need for some action has arisen. The need is for our love and attention, and we would spontaneously react according to the needs of our children. This is vastly different than being the boss of the family picnic, as if we didn't try our best to control events, the picnic would somehow turn out all wrong, full of mistakes and problems. This kind of ordering everyone around, including life itself and even oneself, is nothing but a vain attempt to force life into our little conceptual box of what we consider right. We also often expend a tremendous amount of energy in avoiding an outcome that we imagine would be wrong. We, as a species, are very good at building imaginary futures for the occasions that naturally arise in life. And all of this happens in our minds. For the right action to arise naturally, we need only be centered deeply in peace and rest, abiding in a place deep within us that has no desires or agendas. Then, quite paradoxically, success will come looking for you. Although the success may not be in the specific form we had imagined. How often do we miss or overlook the sheer wonder and beauty of life, those moments of pure grace, wherein wondrous gifts of life come to us unbidden? We are generally so busy imagining our version of success, planning our conquest over the natural order of things, that we very often fail to notice the many wonders and gifts from life itself which come unbidden, unexpectedly, and quite often out of what seems to us like a failure or disaster of some kind. If we simply stay open and alert, without agenda, waiting without waiting, we then live in a way that is no longer beset with plans of controlling and manipulating life, ourselves, and others to our own advantage. Our intellect is a very dubious gift, as Ramesh Balsekar often remarked. As the Sufi mystic Rumi said, "Sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment." Jesus' teachings are very similar to the Taoist teachings. Jesus said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added unto you." In Taoism, we follow the natural way of things and listen deeply to life and move with its ebbs and flows. There is a lightness of being and an absence of subtle or overt violence against life. From this kind of space, we notice and are open to the inherent beauty and abundance of life. Carl Jung pointed out that when people live more in harmony with life, they appear to have an amazing amount of happy coincidences in their lives. Mr. Jung called these synchronicities. Wu Wei is a fundamental tenet of Taoism. It points out that when we remain at ease and alert, yet relaxed and in tune with the what is of the present, in a kind of innocent and humble appreciation of the sheer miracle of being alive, with no intention to do or not do anything, suddenly spontaneous right action tends to spring forth without intention or agenda. This spontaneous right action is called Wu Wei. It is action arising from the natural ease of being, which is relaxed yet alert and in tune with the present circumstances. We can cultivate the understanding and recognition of this innate ease of being by simply remembering this one simple truth: I need do nothing. What is Wu Wei? Wu simply means non, and Wei equals effort or doing. Said simply, Wu Wei means non-doing. In practical terms, we could say Wu Wei is effortless action arising spontaneously without intention. This way of living is innate to every human being. It is our birthright. We have zero need to learn it. It is already our natural, inherent condition. And while it can be overlooked, it can never be lost. Another way of saying this, it is the simple sense of presence, which is always there. Thought does not disturb it. A life of action does not taint it. It is the ease of being, which is ever at our core and is not dependent on the absence of thought or action. This ease of being is what underlies all action, thoughts, and perceptions. Yet, its resplendent purity is never altered or tainted by any outer happening, such as a personal loss, nor by any inner happening, such as a bout of depression. Just being present, innocently, like a child, without the slightest urge to change or transform our circumstances, inner or outer, is all that is required of us. And this is no requirement at all, as our innate, innocent presence has been with us from birth. It is not learning we require, but unlearning. Think of all the many years of enculturation we have had, overlaying erroneous and often insane notions on top of our innate, radiant happiness. To see this erroneous conditioning, which has been forced into us from childhood, is all that is required to begin to bring it undone. And such seeing is not a doing. Being, presence, aliveness, and seeing are all synonymous. How can merely seeing this illusory conditioning that has us running, chasing success, undo the wrong ideas and thus reveal our true nature? This is due to grace, which is inherent in seeing. In this seeing, we do not judge what is seen within or without as wrong or right, good or bad. If the mind is labeling what is seen as good or bad, right or wrong, this too is seen as the mind doing its job, which is also a spontaneous happening. Awareness without judgment or agenda has an immense healing power inherent within its own nature. There is no need to rush. Simply understand. I need do nothing. All action is the natural functioning of nature, which is an incomprehensible whole. Many teachings portray this natural ease of being as a goal to be achieved through our fervent and arduous spiritual practice. We must clear the mind of all thoughts, these teachings declare. And of course, they have the methods and techniques, the seminars and books you need to attain the one thing that you have never lost. But think about this ease of being in terms of your daily life. Does it not become clearly recognized when we lay down after a hard day's work? Is it not present in the milky darkness that precedes sleep? We recognize this innate, spontaneous happiness quite often, sitting in a cafe, reading a novel, just walking in a park, upon seeing a loved one. We all know this deep peace and natural ease of being very well. It's just that we have not been taught to value it. In fact, we are taught from the beginning that we need to become somebody. We need to work hard to achieve success. And why do we really seek success in worldly terms? It is due to our glimpse of peace afforded us, if but for a brief moment, when the desire for our goal is achieved. Then we find ourselves in a condition without wanting. The release from desire and mad rush towards achieving our goal makes room for natural ease and spontaneity to shine forth effortlessly. So, understanding all this, we need not fumble about, buffeted by our culture and all of its insane pressures and expectations. We can cultivate the awareness of our inherent ease of being right now, which is like unto a beautiful shade-giving tree, underneath and against which we can rest and watch the flowers bloom of themselves. This tree also bears forth fruit, which is filled with the healing elixir of radiance. Wu Wei gives a whole way of living and entire teaching and philosophy of life in just 2 words. Action that is spontaneous, arising from an inner stillness or from our innate natural ease of being with no agenda, is always action that is in harmony with the Tao. Tao has no translation in English. It simply means the Great Way. Not as in a prescriptive, specific way to live. The Great Way is the way of things, the way of nature, the natural order of the universe. This is why the early Taoists emphasized being in nature and observing her ways. In Taoism, the natural world is the real teacher. Books and poems come at best a distant second.